Local 8 Sports is giving you an all-access pass to the most complete coverage of high school football in East Tennessee.
It's called Varsity All Access.
Friday nights aren't just for highlights anymore. We're going to mic up area coaches to give you an unrivaled look behind the scenes.
And join us online and on Twitter
for real-time updates from your varsity insiders.
Plus, you get live high-definition football on Rivalry Thursday. Not to mention, it's the only place to see the playoffs and each and every state championship game.
It's Varsity All Access, driven by your Greater Knoxville Honda dealers.
Welcome home, where the arms open wide. Welcome home, the place you carried inside. Long days past, now you're home at last, with the ones you love. Welcome home, welcome home.
Good evening. You're watching Local 8 News. I'm Amanda Hara.
And I'm Ted Hall. Welcome home. Top story.
Every morning, we tell you Local 8 News this morning has your news up to the minute you wake up.
And that's not just a clever catchphrase. It's certainly a developing situation out here.
It's a promise.
We are tracking thunderstorms this morning that are changing as we go through the later morning hours.
It's our commitment.
They've got traffic on I-40 eastbound completely blocked.
First down. First and 10 at the Chiefs 42.
Hello, Irish Nation. Excuse our technical difficulties. We've switched to a different system here within FHS. We think we got the kinks worked out. That was an initial first down. Don't know if you caught it. A quick strike from Chase Cunningham to Amari Rogers. We had an incomplete pass there to Amari Rogers on 1st and 10 at the Cherokee 42. The Irish have scored this year 9 times on their first drive, and they've scored 4 times on their first play. Didn't get the first play tonight, but as we open up the broadcast here at Knoxville Catholic High School at Blaine Stadium and Holland Field here on the campus of Knoxville Catholic, I'm joined here by Grady Vanderhoofen, player for the Fighting Irish that his career was shortened here recently. And the blessing for us is we've got him up in the booth. Grady, good to have you, man.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Hard to believe it's 75 degrees today and we're in the playoffs, isn't it?
Yes, it's actually around school all week. Everybody's just been amazed on how warm it's been. And this week, actually tonight, everybody was talking about how it was supposed to get cold. So there's a couple people down there in the student section nice and bundled up. And ready for it to really cool off.
Nice. To give you a little bit of flavor of the coaching staff and the Cherokee program, one of the most dominant football programs in 4A over the last decade, really 15, 20 years, has been the Green Devils from Greenville High School. Their coach for the Cherokee Chiefs, Cody Baugh, comes from Greenville. Here's a handoff to Jeffrey Wood. He's got an opening, and it looks like he might go the distance. Jeffrey Wood, on his first carry of the night, goes 41 yards. Touchdown, Irish.
That was some incredible speed Jeffrey showed there. He was really, at first he was maneuvering, and then when he got outside the numbers, he just really turned it on and really burned everybody.
Grady, I believe the Irish are approaching 15 scoring drives under a minute. Is that not amazing?
That's incredible.
And right there, that drive was a whopping 32 seconds.
I remember being in middle school the last time that the Irish won the state championship and seeing how incredibly fast and powerful the team was. And then for a little bit in middle school, everybody kind of was upset because the program sort of hit a downward slope, and Coach Matthews has really done an excellent job of bringing the team out of that slope and up to just the pinnacle of high school football.
He really has. It's amazing. Just really clicking on all cylinders right now. I want to give a shout out to number 44 freshman kicker Paxton Robertson. Done a tremendous job there. Got the extra point with 11:38 to go in the first quarter. The Irish already strike quickly again, 7-0. This is a Chief program that has a lot of tradition. They're 6-4 this year on the back half of the season, Grady. They've been decimated with some injuries, trying to battle back from some of that. But tonight, again, probably going with without 6 or 8 key players in a program that doesn't have a ton of players. You can see the sideline. They're not dealing with a real deep roster. It's going to be tough going, I think, for the Chiefs tonight.
Injuries are a killer. I think it was 2 years ago the Irish were just plagued by injuries all year long, just injury after injury after injury, and we really had to fight and struggle really hard to get to the point where we are today.
You know, that's interesting. They really didn't have anybody deep. It was almost like they didn't want to field that. I'm not quite sure about the logic there. Again, going against a team that's heavily favored, I like the thought of my best athlete getting the ball in space and having a chance to break it.
Especially because so far this year the Irish coverage team really hasn't had to do that much work. And so if you can get your return man up into the 20, 25-yard line range, you've got a good chance of breaking one.
You're right, and Grady, and as prolific a scoring team as Catholic is, it's easy to think a kickoff team could be a little bit lax in their duties, knowing that the team's scoring at will. Little swing pass. Tackled by Jack Somperak, Bo Holland, and leading tackler Jake Mahoney. Jake's really had a big year, hasn't he?
He really has, and he's done, I've said this before, an incredible job of really taking command of that defense and really being in charge and an excellent leader on the defense, calling each of the defensive formations and making excellent plays.
This is number 1, Isaiah Bragg. The Bragg brothers have been kind of the dominant skill kids. We're going to see a replay here. The Bragg brothers are dangerous weapons. The older brother is hurt and will not be playing tonight. Isaiah Bragg is a sophomore. The Cherokee Chiefs, if you paid any attention to high school football, had one of the saddest stories hit their program this past spring. J.T. Brooks, young, extremely talented sophomore quarterback. We got an incomplete. Oh, intercepted! We've got a pick six for the Irish. Tony Scott with a pick six about the 7-yard line.
You could tell as soon as he grabbed that ball, he knew exactly what was going to happen.
You know, talking to Les Greer at the beginning of the year, we're going to see a replay here, and you can see Tony reading the eyes of the quarterback. He lays back.
Gets the ball and knows it's a touchdown the second he gets his hands on it.
And that's a veteran move right there, isn't it, Grady? He kind of hides behind the receiver and waits for him to release the ball and goes in, and it was like taking candy from a baby. Robertson again with the extra point is up and good with just 10:25 to go in the first quarter. Irish up 14-0. one thing I always say is good lines don't go in a slump. You know, skilled kids, timing with quarterbacks and receivers can be off at times, but good linemen that are motivated night in, night out, generally are going to win their battles. And with the Irish, I think to me that's been an area of consistency that sometimes we overlook because they're such a flashy offensive team. But their line play on both sides of the ball, even against Belfry that has 3 D1 signees at Kentucky and schools like Louisville, they have dominated every team on the line of scrimmage, and I think that's been a big key to their consistent play.
It definitely has. Having been in the backfield, not as a starter, obviously, but having been in the backfield in all sorts of areas of the game, it's always helpful to know that your guys are going to have your back and that when you'll have time to at least get a hold of the ball and see what you can do before there's somebody sitting on top of you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like their formula, too, of monitoring kids' minutes and making sure there's fresh bodies in there. And it really seems like it's down to a science.
We really have lots of of course, back when I was a freshman, the team was enormous. But as far as depth of athletes went, we really didn't know how much the coach really didn't know how much he had to work with. Now at this point, at this stage of the game, this far into the season, coach knows all of his athletes. He knows every single guy he can count on to put into the game whenever he needs them, and they're ready to go.
No doubt, and some coaches are a little hesitant to use that second-string guy or the 1B instead of 1A, the guy that's the best. And I think you see the way they're able to dominate their opponents, and it's working. Right now, again, talking about J.T. Brooks, we didn't get to finish that story. J.T. Brooks was scheduled to be the starting quarterback, rising sophomore with the Chiefs program, a really good baseball pitcher as well. Tremendous kid, a natural leader. Got a replay on this. He had a really tough tackle, I believe landed on his head this past spring, and he was paralyzed from the chest down. Just a devastating injury for the young man. I believe was in Atlanta for a long time, getting treatment. And I saw the video this week of him coming back to a football game this fall for the first time. And it was just very inspiring to see the kid and his attitude. And, his body wasn't nearly the same. He's very thin. And but yeah, he could move his arms, and he could talk just fine and smile, and had the jersey and the hat on backwards. And I talked to a few players before the game, and they said it's just unbelievable how inspiring, he is, and what a gracious young man that he doesn't at all say, woe is me, feel sorry for himself. And they said he's probably not going to make the trip tonight because it's a little longer trip, but he's been to the last 5 games. And, it's one of those stories that just makes you appreciate your health and appreciate every day.
Definitely. And I know it probably doesn't carry much weight, but I have tremendous respect for something like that, to be able to experience something so tragic and turn it into and just turn it around and have a strong enough character to know that just being out there with the team, it's always helpful, it's always good. The team rallies behind him, seeing his strength and his ability to just be there.
Oh, yeah. That was an incomplete pass right there, a big hit by DJ Mitchell. But going back to that, Grady, you think of your career cut short by, a couple concussions, and, that's not how you wanted it to end, obviously. But it really puts that in perspective with you, too, doesn't it?
It does.
You've got your health.
And it definitely, his strength to be able to.
Got an interception. It looks like DJ. That was a nice over-the-shoulder interception. We got the replay here. We might have missed it. Let's see if we're going to get it. Doesn't believe we're going to get the replay. Nice over-the-shoulder catch right there.
Yes,
looks by DJ Mitchell.
Looks like the quarterback.
Not the ESPN highlight that he had.
Of course.
Pretty good.
Looks like the quarterback just overthrew the receiver, and DJ ran out and actually got underneath it as he saw it coming down.
Cunningham to Rogers here on the sideline. Nice tackle by
That
Isaiah
was
Bragg.
excellent open field tackle. One-on-one with Amari Rogers. That's always a tackle with a lot of pressure on you, and a lot of guys will let that get to their head and they'll make a mistake. That was an excellent play by
Isaiah Bragg.
That was very, very, very skilled.
Just a sophomore. Rolling left, Cunningham. Got the big Cam Blakely target. Cam's getting more involved here this last 3 games.
Definitely getting very involved. And I think it might have something to do with being at practice. And, of course, he's been to every practice so far this year, but he may have just found a way to connect with Chase more and more in practice, so Chase has become more comfortable with him, and he's such a big, excellent target for Chase to throw to. I think Chase may have just been nervous about throwing the ball to him, but I think now he's definitely confident in his abilities.
Yeah. Isaiah Bragg, we're seeing another good play by Isaiah Bragg. He was really hiding, kind of sitting underneath. There's some soft zone coverage right there, and almost just was a half a second late and cutting in front of the receiver. That probably would have been a pick 6, Grady.
I would say so.
On that side of the field. Jeffrey Woods with the toss left, reverses field. Nice block by the quarterback.
Cunningham with an excellent block.
Coach Matthews probably doesn't want to see too many of those.
Probably not, but I'm sure he's happy to see one every once in a while.
You know, you've talked about it several times, just different athletes on this team that are at a different level on the pecking order than they would be on most football teams. But you look at Jeffrey Wood, he hadn't got a ton of carry. Here we go. Amari Rogers on a jet sweep to the left, cuts it all the way back, and just –
wow.
We've said it several times. This looks like a video game move, doesn't it? Like
that
you know
was
something,
incredible.
You know something that the guy you're playing doesn't know. I mean –
went from full speed, headed toward the left sideline, and immediately cut it back. And it seemed effortlessly straight toward the end zone.
And that's the amazing thing. It looks like those guys have the angle and are going to – it looks like 2 or 3 guys could have tackled him there, and they don't even touch him.
I know I've said this before, but there it was especially evident. He looks like he's floating around on the field. It looks like he's barely touching the ground.
He does.
He's moving so fast and so agile and so effortlessly. It seems like he's barely even touching the ground.
You're right. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch David Johnson. He's built a little bit bigger than Amari in the NFL, but his cutting ability and his overall running style, I was talking to a principal headmaster of, I guess we call him president now, of
President
Catholic High School, Dickie Somperak, and a couple weeks ago, and we both agree he reminds us a lot of David Johnson and has a lot of versatile ability like a Reggie Bush.
That's Amari. I'm not sure there's a position on this field that he couldn't play.
Oh, I agree. Well, we appreciate everybody that's able to join us on the Irish Streaming Network again with the transition to NFHS. The ability to stream the playoffs. This is such a huge thing, and be able to do the same for other sports. Small fee, you think of coming to a game like this. You bring a family of 4, $8 a pop, you're paying $32 before you ever come in the gate. So,
exactly.
So for a pass for $9 for a week, a one game, or for $30 for a few months, it's really not much to pay. Nice run back here for the Chiefs. Got the replay here. Again, number 11, Elon Hughes. Oh yeah, sorry. It's an I, not an L. Interesting spelling. Eon Hughes.
Never seen it spelled that way, but it's very creative and very cool.
The all-name team, I like it. Nice hit. Was that Mahoney?
Looks like it.
Yeah, that was actually. I think he was squared up by Fluker. Joe Fluker's had a big year. Really talking about him evolving into what looks like a really good college prospect, along with Mahoney.
The two of them have done an excellent job of really forming a solid wall right there in the middle of the defense. And I'm sure Coach Matthews and Coach Greer are very excited to have both of them returning next year.
Oh, yeah. Middle school teammates Fluker and Somperak on that tackle. The St. John Newman graduates. You know, when they're in the backfield that quick, it really sheds light on the scouting and the knowing the tendencies, and I mean they were really on that play. I really feel like they knew it was coming before it happened. Back to pass.
Looks like it was slightly overthrown.
Trey Courtney in at quarterback. Had an injury, I believe the gentleman's name, let's see if he's on the roster here. Colin Trent, freshman. Apparently that's a big family. Actually, I talked to, might have been his mom today, might have been grandmother, works in the office at Cherokee. And apparently he did a really good job with the injury to J.T. Brooks. Came in and started, which is rare for a freshman, and did extremely well till he was injured around week 8. So it looks like Bragg might be doing the punting duties. A little bit of a bobbled snap.
Not a bad punt, though.
Mari's not afraid to pick up the bounce. Oh, big block. Oh, my goodness.
And they're going to throw a flag on that one.
Oh, my goodness. And that was not who you want to be hit by full speed. Styles Moore. Woo.
That was a shot.
Do we have a replay? Who was the first one? Was it Jake Mahoney maybe?
I think it was Jake Mahoney.
Oh, my goodness.
Those were some violent blocks.
I'm just glad the young man's not hurt. It wasn't a dirty hit at all. It was just a really, really
those are the type of hits that you remember after high school.
You know, I think that probably goes up more under the category of protecting a defenseless player.
Yeah.
Had his head turned the other direction.
Somebody on the Catholic team actually graduated 2 years ago that really mastered 2 years ago that really mastered that type of block was Dominic Souter.
Oh, yeah.
He used to come down the field and just clock people.
And he had a lot of speed, too. So guys
he really
like that,
did.
that generate a lot of speed, as you learn in your physics class here. Did you ever take physics here?
I did.
Yeah, that's a lot of force when you're running as fast as
That's
Souter was.
a deadly combination.
He's playing in college now, right? I'm trying to think where he went, but I know he played
may
at
be,
least
but
for 1 or 2 years.
He may not be anymore.
Chase Cunningham back to pass. Got his trusty weapon, Chase Kirshen, open there. About a 9-yard gain.
That was an excellent play by number 17, Trey Courtney, really getting him by his feet and doing an excellent job, again, of an open field tackle and a very hard player to bring down.
Hunter Counts on the carry. Hard runner for the Irish.
I'm not sure when the ball is in his hands if he ever stops moving his feet. And that's just a tribute to him just absolutely being mentally and physically unstoppable and just never stopping his feet.
He's a tough kid. Jeffrey Wood around the left side, and he looks like he might go all the way. Again, he really looks like he might be picking up another gear coming down the stretch. Nice run by Jeffrey Wood. One thing nice about this, with Catholic's passing attack, we got a replay here. Look at Jeffrey make his cut upfield and just – you know, you almost feel like Cherokee kids are already kind of dejected here in the first quarter. You can't blame them, but with this extra point would make it 28-0 by Robertson.
Just
got it again. Again, like most games this year, seems like it should be further along, but we're still just in the first quarter with 5:53 to go here on the Irish Streaming Network.
A lot more running, though, than I think we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
Coach Matthews is really working in a really good balance. He knows he's got an extremely good running game and an extremely good passing game, and I think he's doing an excellent job of just mixing the two together and
I agree,
making
and I
sure
think
he does
that's
both.
smart because, you know, one of the things in talking to him this week that they felt like could be a curveball in the playoffs more so than the actual team they're playing is if you have a Friday night playoff game and you've got a monsoon, you've got just a lot of rainy condition on a natural grass field and just an absolute mess, and obviously that's going to put a damper on your passing game. But we haven't really seen anybody stop the Irish in their run game this year.
The Irish offense in general just seems to be a steamroller. They get the ball, they're going down the field, and they're going to score.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to mention the team because they might not want to know, or other programs to know they're here, but a state champion program in Knoxville. The coaches asked if they could visit a practice this week and see how Catholic runs their business. And we've talked about it, Grady, about what an efficient, organized practice it is. Chiefs get it at about the 20. Makes a nice move.
Ooh. Met hard
Nice
at right about
by,
the 30-yard line.
Jack Somperak.
The return man really did an excellent job of taking what looked like a muffed kick return and turning it into something.
He really did. And if Jack hadn't been in that lane, it looked for a second like he could break it.
Like he could have gone.
You know, the Chiefs have some nice-looking linemen. They're, again, hit a bit by the injury bug right now, but you can tell it's a good program.
Here we see Kirshen really move up into an almost third inside linebacker-like position.
And that's not good news for the defense. Looks like Jake is limping a little bit.
Gimping a little bit. May have gotten a Charlie horse on that last kickoff.
Uh-oh, fumble. Looks like the Chiefs recovered it. Nope. It's going to be Chase Kirshen. You know,
So
if he gets his hands on
football.
it, he's keeping it.
Definitely.
Got the replay here. Nice run. Actually, the quarterback had a nice fake there.
An excellent fake.
Actually stripped and recovered by Kirshen.
Very, very, very impressive play. Very athletic play by Kirshen to be able to get the ball out and hold on to it.
Oh, yeah. I think Kirshen's gotten in the ballpark of 12 to 15 offers, and heard recently he really liked his visit to Tulane. Cunningham on a pitch. Jeffrey Wood again. He looks hungry, doesn't he, Grady?
Just really turning on the speed play after play after play, and is definitely looking for that end zone every time he touches the ball.
Nice pitch by Cunningham. And Jeffrey Wood is just on a different level right now and really seems to be appreciating the carries he's getting.
Just playing an incredible game of football tonight.
That's his third touchdown of the night. Uh-oh, bad snap. Kirshen. Okay, that is his sixth way he scored a touchdown. Let's see if we can get these right, Grady. Help me out here.
Receiving touchdown, obviously.
And actually, that's a extra point, so that's a 2-point conversion. But we'll
Right.
call it a score.
Yes.
He scored on a running play.
On a running
Obviously,
play.
a bunch of receiving plays. Kick return.
Defensive interception.
Defensive pick six. Punt return.
Punt return.
And botch snap. Let's make something happen. And,
Definitely.
So that's his sixth way he scored this year.
I think maybe that might be the reason that Coach Matthews has really worked him into being a holder, so that in a situation like that he can utilize one of his greatest athletes on the team to turn what could have just been a nothing play into something.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, not that Cunningham couldn't do it. I've seen Cunningham run, and he is one of the shiftiest people I've ever seen. Deceptively shifty.
Right. Well, and a lot of coaches don't want their quarterback. A lot of times it's the backup quarterback that's in that role, but a lot of times they don't want a quarterback in that role where they've got linemen and all kinds of, traffic and craziness where they could get hurt.
So the Irish will kick off again with 4 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Irish are up 36-0. Wow.
Nice run back by number 27, Jonas Leeper. Eventually tackled, corralled there by number 24, DJ Mitchell.
Actually broke several tackles there on that return, even leaving Amari Rogers on the ground behind him.
He did. That's saying something.
Definitely.
Obviously, the big announcement this week with Amari being part of the Under Armour All-American game. Was that done in front of the whole school?
Not in front of the whole school, but there was a ceremony in the gym after school, yes. I didn't get a chance to attend. I actually had to pick up my little brother from school that day. But I did hear from a couple of people that it was a really cool thing to come and see, and obviously a huge honor for Amari.
Oh, yeah.
I interviewed Amari today during lunch, and he said to me that's the Under Armour All-American game is a game he's watched ever since he was a little kid and has always wanted to participate in. And so it's a big deal for him to finally get to that point where he can play in a game where he's been admiring the players for his whole life.
That's exciting. Fulfilling his dreams. Previous play, nice tackle by Charlie Connors and Hunter Counts. Connors has had a big year, hasn't he?
Definitely. Having actually lost lots of weight previously from lacrosse. He played lacrosse last year, lost lots of weight, but hasn't lost any of his aggression and probably has even gained a little bit of muscle and strength so that he can really be a force there on that defensive line.
Another guy that doesn't get a lot of attention but is just always doing what he's supposed to be doing, Joseph Healy in on that tackle right there. He's a
Joseph
tough kid.
Healy, definitely, because he's actually coming in off of a broken foot earlier this year.
Yeah, he I remember last year looked like he really had a lot of potential. Nice hit by Scott and nice aggressive finish by Jack Somperak.
Definitely came in, totally cleaned out the play, finished it off with a good, strong stop.
Talking to, is it Scuba you guys call him, Coach Wright?
Scuba.
He was talking about how he likes Jack. He's a nasty free safety back there. Normally you don't have a quarterback playing defense that you call nasty, but Jack's really become a hitter.
And he's has that advantage being there in the backfield, in the defensive, being there in the secondary and knowing, this is what the quarterback's thinking in this scenario and really being able to just get a good jump on the play and a good jump on the ball every time he gets an opportunity.
Oh, yeah. With 2:39 to go, the Chiefs trying to get something going. Looks like probably going to have the punting team coming out with 4th and 7. Probably a bit of bad news for the Chiefs. It does look like, just for the sake that it's the playoffs and experience, Catholic is going to, from what we've heard, play their starters through the first half. Is that what you've heard,
Through the
Grady?
first half, and what I heard talking to Amari is they'll probably play up into the third quarter.
Okay.
Just to get them back into their rhythm because they've gone several weeks in a row where the starters have come out very early in the game.
A lot of times after a quarter and a half.
And so the coach is really trying to work them back in. This is what it feels like to play a whole game again because he is expecting later on in the year that we will definitely face an opponent that will force us to play 100% football the whole game.
Again, isn't that a little hard to believe? Again, Catholic's had a really good program for a long time, but to think your freshman year that you'd be saying, hey, we think at least somebody in the playoffs is going to force us to play 4 quarters. And that's not to demean anybody. I mean,
of course not.
You've got a lot of teams, Marshall County, Greenville, Fulton.
Definitely. We definitely have
Central.
people coming that will present a ton of competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's the high school football team has come very, very far from when I first stepped onto the field. And that's a huge credit to Coach Matthews. It's a huge credit to this year's seniors. And it's a huge credit to the seniors the year he first got here. They really did an excellent job of buying into the program, and they totally invested themselves in Coach Matthews. And I don't think, from what I can remember, I'm not sure any of the seniors that year quit when they heard Coach Meadows was leaving.
Well, your class, I'll tell you what, Grady, your class, you included, get a lot of credit because so much of what happens in a program is dependent upon not just leadership, but your seniors. And you guys having that leadership. I remember talking to Coach Matthews early in the year, and he goes, this group of seniors, this is such a bunch of nice guys. They don't think they have to boss around the younger players. And so much of high school sports, sometimes people think by being a leader, that means I get to boss around the freshmen and sophomore. And he talked about so many things that the program does now. the coaches don't have. Here we go. There's a fluker on his first carry of the night. Boy, he looks strong. I don't know if he's going to be tackled, Grady. Man, nope. Fluker.
House call.
You know, they say good running backs look like they're running downhill, and Jeffrey Wood and Fluker both look like they run downhill, don't
Definitely.
they? Definitely. Really.
An excellent 1-2 punch combination between Fluker and Wood, definitely.
But going back to that, you know, Coach would talk about just simple things like a team meal. He would have to be barking at people and this and that. He just doesn't have to say anything.
Correct. I think a lot of what has to do with this year's seniors being so nice and so willing to.
Robertson with the ball. He's throwing it to Kirshen. Watch out, Kirshen. I say he scores. Has to beat about 5 people. Okay, that's number 7. that's
receiving
a botched
for
receiving the 2-point conversion on a botched snap. Oh my goodness. We just talked about it when that play went bad, and I saw Kirshen. I said, "This is going to happen." You got to give Robertson credit. That was a good pass.
That was a good pass,
especially from a freshman soccer player that probably until this year has never played football, as far as I know.
Back to what I was saying about the seniors really being good leaders on the team and not barking or giving orders or being anybody's boss. I accredit that a lot to when we came in as freshmen. There was an excellent group of seniors who were excellent leaders, but they were also really nice.
Yes.
Of course, you know, they love to make the little freshmen feel uncomfortable, but they, later on in the season, really were like older brothers. They took us under their wing. They weren't mean. They weren't overly aggressive, but if we stepped out of line, they'd kick us back into line, and we would get ready to go.
Well, and that shows a lot, too, that not only do you remember that they treated you right, but it probably had an influence on how you guys treated the younger kids. And I just know, talking to Coach Matthews several times this year, just seems so relaxed on so many fronts, and he just said that it's just so nice. This is the first group that just knows our whole system. You know, we've had them for 4 years.
Definitely. It's been the same system for 4 years, and it's really this is probably the only system any of these players can imagine or remember playing.
Yep.
Even in middle school coming up, the offensive coordinator for our middle school team really tried hard to get a couple of the offensive plays thrown in to kind of mirror what they would experience in high school, and really this is what they've been doing for as long as they can probably remember.
That's great. Well, the Catholic Youth Football Program has been a big foundation building part of this program, and you look at any good high school program, Maryville, Alcoa, we've talked about Greenville, Notre Dame and Chattanooga. You've got across the state. If you've got a really good high school program, year in, year out, you've generally got a good youth program.
Definitely.
You know, one of Les Greer's goals, the defensive staff's goals the last couple of weeks has been to not allow a first down. I think maybe we've had one first down on the reception, or do you think we've even had one? I'm trying to remember if there's even been one first down. Cherokee. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh. Probably could have called what looked like a face mask on that play.
Looks like Mahoney's okay. Now,
really
with that tackle, Justin Anderson might be recruiting him to wrestle his last 2 years. That was a nice double leg takedown right there.
Definitely.
Being an ex-wrestler myself, I can see Mahoney wrestling. He's a fighter.
Wrestling against, obviously, I never got very far. I did wrestle 1 year, and wrestling against Jake Mahoney would make me nervous.
Another good play by Bo Holland. Looks like we got Fluker in on that tackle as well. Look at Bo Holland. Man, he fights off.
Wow.
Fights off
the block. He sat that lead blocker down like he was nothing.
And, Bo Holland is not huge, but he plays a lot bigger than he is.
He is a fiery player for sure. He's electric. He's always getting everybody up on the sideline. And when he gets his opportunity, he will not miss his chance to make a big play.
Let's talk about no first downs. This is a big play here by number, I believe, 33. Nice run right there by number 33. Japheth Kurtzinger.
That's a cool name.
That is a cool name, Japheth. got a 4th and 1. It looks like they could be trying to draw the Irish off sides. If I'm Cherokee, I'm going for it here because it doesn't matter where they get the ball. It looks like he got it, Grady. It looks like he crossed.
He got it. I think so. With the spot, looks to me like he got it. Well, it looks like there's a – okay, they're going to give it to him. That's a first down.
Number 33, Japheth Kurtzinger, he's a hard runner. Now, you young guys, Brady, or I just called you Brady. Brady's my flag football quarterback. Renfrey's little brother.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, fumble. Looks like
the
Chiefs got it.
Chiefs recovered it.
I was reading an article on how many tweets or Instagram posts or whatever all you guys do during the day. In a half broadcast, obviously you can't do two things at once, right? You're the multitasking generation. How many tweets and texts would you put out during a half of a broadcast to impress our viewers back home?
Probably, I'm not much of a tweeter. I'm always on Twitter just seeing what everybody says. I would say text messages, probably 50 text messages.
In a half?
In a half.
Is that why you're on the broadcast or not? Wow, that's amazing. We have, I believe, a Chief down. Or is this a Catholic? This is a Catholic player down. Do you know who? Can we tell who it was there, Grady? Again, going into any game, one of your first goals. Is that Lovely?
It looks like Lovely, number 15.
They're already about to grab him. Looks like possibly an ankle.
Possibly an ankle. Maybe a knee.
One of the biggest things
That's a
you
tough guy.
don't want early in the playoffs is injuries. Last game had the knee injury with the I believe it's Xavier Rhodes. Hope Nick's okay.
Nick's a tough guy. I think if it's not serious, he'll be out. He'll be back out here as soon as he possibly can.
He's had a good year.
He definitely has.
He's another guy with all the stars on this team. Doesn't get a lot of attention, but he is always. You hear Butch Jones say it with the Vols. We want every guy to do their job, and Nick Lovely is always in the right place at the right time.
One of Coach Greer's favorite sayings is "Do your job."
Oh, okay.
And I would say the players on the team will probably hear that 100 times in a single practice.
Wow.
He'll just be out there. If you make one mistake, he'll let you know about it, and he'll tell the whole team, you got to do your job. And Coach Greer is definitely the most vocal coach on the team. He's always out there at practice. Every once in a while, you'll go into a class, and you'll have a teacher ask you, who was yelling at you guys all day yesterday? And it's Coach Greer, and he's definitely the most vocal, but he also does an excellent job of teaching and correcting. And he's not one of those coaches who will just go out there and scream at you about how you did it wrong. He'll pull you aside and he'll teach you how to do it right so that you don't make the mistake again.
He definitely, talking to him each week before the game, he seems like a very cerebral coach. It really analyzes every aspect, and as opposed to going nuts yelling, he's looking at showing you what you did wrong and what the solution is. You know, one thing we talked about last week is I asked one of the coaches, generally during the year, you're doing a maintenance weightlifting program. You're just trying to maintain strength with all the running and hitting and, you know, all the things that the body's going through, and obviously making sure the guys are having good nutrition. But I've noticed guys getting bigger through the season this year. Looking at Lovely right here, he looks like he's actually put on weight during the year.
Nick Lovely he put on so much weight between junior and senior year. I was actually talking to him about this not that long ago. Nick participated in the boys' dance, which is a Spirit Week activity.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
that I participated in as well. And there was a dance move that Nick couldn't do because he put on so much muscle so fast that he hadn't really kept up on his stretching, and
wasn't quite as loosey-goosey.
It wasn't quite as loosey-goosey. And he's definitely done an excellent job of getting bigger, getting faster, getting stronger.
You can tell.
Not quite staying so flexible.
Right.
But
Heard him on Dance Week. L.B. Liverman in on the last 2 tackles, assisted by Jack Somprak on the last one. Also have Charlie Connor in on that tackle. Got Styles Moore.
Coaches seem to be putting a little bit more speed in there on that defensive line right now.
Looking forward to next week. Again, normally don't want to talk about that, but looking like it'll be Fulton next week. I think Amari playing more corner could be bad news for Fulton. They've got the one dominant receiver, I believe it's Dobson, and got some other good receivers as well. But I believe they've got another sophomore that's really good. His name escapes me right now, but adding Amari to Jeffrey Wood and DJ Mitchell, and then having Kirshen and Somprak at the safeties, I think that's going to be tough for them next week.
Dobson is an extremely athletic player. I've seen him play. I've only seen him play one time, but I've seen his highlights. They're actually viral on Twitter. He has some incredible highlights. And one play, I mean, it's on basically every trending Twitter popular highlight, and he just traverses the field probably 5 times, breaks 20 tackles, and just walks it into the end zone.
Yeah, he can score on any play. Speaking of that, here's Amari. Cuts it up the middle, and just playing a different game than everybody on this field tonight. He is
that was an excellent
he's
return.
Electric.
You really have to give credit. He got 2 excellent blocks there on the sideline.
He did. Let's look at the replay. I think L.B. Liverman, actually the nimble D lineman, out there with one. There was a nice block by DJ Mitchell.
He gets another nice block here by
was that Charlie Connor maybe?
Might have been Charlie Connors, and then Cade pancaked that guy into the ground.
Cade likes doing that, doesn't he? He's an athlete. I mean, he definitely
is. For a big guy, he's very, very mobile. And I think Cade rates his performance in the game by how many pancakes he gets.
He's a kid in a candy store playing football. Robertson again. The big issue hasn't been Robertson; it's been the snap.
That's very true.
Right now, missing. Looks like offsides on the Chiefs right there. Missing Logan Punch right now. Kind of took that for granted last year, didn't he? It was just all automatic.
Yes, sir. The looks to me that the usual long snapper is actually on the sideline currently.
Might be dinged up. That's a tough role to be put into. Looks like Nick Lovely might be out for the night. They are icing him up a little bit, but with the score, what it is, I don't think we'll probably see Nick Lovely again tonight.
I don't think there's much pressure to put him back in the game.
With 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, again in the first half of the first round of the TSSAA playoffs, the Irish in their first round to defend their 4A state title, everything's going as planned, 51-0.
Looking very, very powerful in all aspects of the game.
I tell you, Coach Matthews is always a step ahead offensively, and I really like that they've been working on their running game tonight. Again, you remember the Fulton game and the Greenville game last year. They really had to lean on the running game, and it really came through for them.
Well, there in that first quarter, they had 6 rushes for 174 yards.
Wow!
And 7 pass attempts with 5 completions for 90 yards. So obviously more running yards there than pass yards, and Coach Matthews really stressing the running game. It seems like this week.
Got a replay on the kickoff here. I'm hearing Jack's name getting mispronounced like I've heard my whole life. People ask, I guess your name gets pronounced all kind of different ways. Somprak. The most common is what the Cherokee Chiefs announcers are saying, Somprak.
I've definitely been in that boat myself. I've had several people ask me,
You've got a
how do
tougher
you
last name
pronounce
than
your
I do.
name?
Vander-
I've actually had several people, when announcing my name, skip my last name.
Just
say
V.
the first
Grady
name.
V. It's like Dickie V. Dickie Vitale. Grant Vanderhoofen, that's the proper
Yes, sir.
pronunciation? Yeah. I really like how number 33, and I want to see what year he is. Goodness. Or no, I was looking at the Catholic roster. It said freshman. Let's see what year he is. He looks like he would be a senior, but Japheth Kurtzinger is just a sophomore. He's a hard runner.
He's a
6
big
feet tall,
sophomore.
205.
Wow.
Interesting in talking to Cody Baugh before the game in rebuilding this program, one of the challenges he said, this is kind of interesting, is he said the two middle schools that feed into Cherokee are a half a mile from each other, and they absolutely hate each other. Here's a replay. He said it's not a rivalry. It's not that they dislike. They hate each other. And so he said it's real difficult when you get freshmen in. They've traditionally had freshmen quit because there's just guys that have hated each other for years.
Trying to squeeze them together on the same team. I can see how that would be a toxic environment to try and create a football team.
So what he's in the midst of doing is trying to co-opt the two programs where he can
get everybody on one team
exactly.
to begin with.
Exactly. So let's hope he's successful in that, because that'll be a big key and the foundation of their program. Quarterback doesn't look like a planned rollout, but maybe a busted play. Number 17, Trey Courtney, tries to make something out of nothing. Gains about 1. We're going to have 2nd and 9.
Something that seems to be very different about this Irish sideline, it's very relaxed, very calm, and I think that has a lot to do with some of the injured players really keeping everybody loose and everybody relaxed, and some players, like last year, when at the beginning of the season I was told that I was going to have to take a year off from contact sports.
Right.
I sort of played almost a manager type role. I was still on the team. I still had a jersey. When we won the state championship, I was still awarded with a ring.
Right.
And I played more of a manager role and sort of kept everybody loose. And Catholic high schools had several people like that over the years. When I came into the program, it was a kid named Zach Taylor.
Right.
He was with the program for years. He actually, before we had all this fancy equipment, recorded practice on an iPad for the coaches to watch.
I remember those days. Well, and, it's good when you have a curveball like that injury-wise. It's good to stay involved, and your teammates take notice. They realize that it's not about you. You want to be a part of the program.
Right.
And I can tell you're a leader, and you have an impact on the program even if you're not out there playing on Friday nights. You look at the Cubs just winning the World Series, and their number one player that was struggling, Jason Hayward, could not get a hit. I think he maybe had 1 or 2 hits the entire postseason, and just really played terrible at the plate, did okay in the field. When they had the rain delay after the Indians hit the 3-run homer, after the game when they won it, all the players were crediting the win to Jason Hayward because of him. Nice pitch and catch right there. Number 11, Hughes, with the reception. Here's the replay. Hughes is a tough kid. He's had a couple of their kick returns. I like him. He's a kid that seems to want the ball in his hands.
He definitely, and he seems when he has the ball to know what he's doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not quite the speed and agility of Wood or Rogers, but definitely has an eye for where to go, and definitely very, very powerful when he's moving down the field.
Styles Moore in on that tackle, also assisted by Alec Bender. I'll tell you what I like, your sophomore Adam Margolis. He's another guy that likes to stick his head in there, good physical tackler.
He's improved a lot since he was a freshman. I think I've said this before. When he came in as a freshman, he had a lot of pressure to step up his game because people saw potential in him, and they knew that if they just pushed him hard enough, he would improve at an exceptional rate. And he really has done a great job getting better, getting faster, getting stronger.
Oh, yeah. Almost picked off there, one-handed. Tony Scott almost made the one-handed grab.
Would have been his second interception of the night.
You know, it's tough. No program, you know, wants to be on their third or fourth quarterback, but this wide receiver for the Chiefs, Trey Courtney, played a little bit of middle school quarterback, so it's not his first time ever, but doing a good job here, probably in about his fourth game. And that is going to be picked off, and that will go back for a touchdown.
That's going to go for a touchdown.
That's the second. And is that Cam Blakely? Don't see a flag. Nice. Got a tipped ball. Cam Blakely
tipped
comes
right up into the hands of Cam Blakely, waiting to take off.
Another nice thing about tonight, Grady, is the Irish have not hardly had any penalties. Tony Scott.
Right.
Tony Scott with the assist.
I hadn't noticed, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I'm not sure we've had any penalties.
I know.
Other than the penalty for the really, really aggressive block.
Right, right.
Something I expect probably to see later on this year is a handful of alumni for this Irish football team probably coming down and hanging out maybe along the fence,
especially as
or
we
if
get
they
a little
can
deeper.
get onto the sideline
Oh,
as we get deeper into these playoffs. And it's something that Coach Matthews has never turned away. He really formed a good bond with everybody that he's ever coached, and is always welcoming of somebody who wants to come watch practice, somebody who wants to come be on the sideline at a game. He's always looking for that opportunity to really bring somebody back into the program, because that's how you grow. That's how you grow a strong program.
You're right.
You have guys come back and you have them say to the team, you know, I remember when I was here and when I was in this position, and it was great and it was awesome and I miss it a lot, and I'm really glad that I can come back and still be welcomed into the program.
Oh yeah, and you know, you want your alumni not just to stay connected, but you want your alumni when they get out and working, you want them to give back. A stat I heard one time, I know the Penn State football program's gone through some challenges and everything with things that Coach Sandusky had done, but ultimately that's been a program where they've had a lot of character people and a lot of guys go out and do big things, being involved with Joe Paterno up there. But I heard a stat one time that of all the development, all of the money that's raised at Penn State University, there's more money donated by walk-on football players than the rest of the alumni base combined. And it just speaks to the character of those kids and the type of careers and jobs and things that they're doing to influence their communities where they're successful, with the lessons they learned within the program. But not only the lessons they learned, that they were taught that we're a family, you're always a part of this community, and to live a great life in God's eyes, you know, He wants you giving back, you know, when you're able to, and that's something. Catholic wouldn't have these facilities that they have today, and the school wouldn't be year in, year out. You know, when they think the past 5 or 6 years, twice have been a top 50 Catholic school in the nation. You wouldn't have that type of success if the alumni weren't giving back.
Exactly, and you know, a program like Knoxville Catholic High School's football team, the school in general, it really teaches character. It really helps build boys into young men and really sends them off into the world to do good things, to make the world a better place. And the football team especially, I am confident that I am the way I am today because I had Coach Matthews as a mentor and Coach Greer as a mentor, and they really helped to form me into the young man that I am now.
Well, and it's I always say this, Grady, the last class isn't over until the final practice is finished, and that's where I always say the best lessons. It's not that your sport is more important than your reading and your math and your science, but the most important lessons are learned after 3:30.
Definitely. The most important life lessons I've ever learned about teamwork and about how you can be a part of something greater than yourself, and about brotherly bonds and family and just connection has been on a football team.
You're right. And
my
it is the life
best friends always played football with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I am confident that 20 years from now I will still remember moments, not the big plays, not the big wins, not the horrible, close, tragic losses, but the bonds that I formed with my brothers on this football team.
No doubt about it. That's the important part. It's the relationships and the community, the family. And I always say to kids nowadays that you guys are fortunate. We didn't. I'm getting old now. I guess we didn't have all of the social media where you can really stay connected. And that's really, sometimes it's a nuisance, and it's, you can't put down your phone for an hour. You think it might be, just kind of ignoring people or something, but ultimately it's a way you can stay connected with these friends that you build. Oh, nice hit. Who was that, Grady, over there? That was Fluker, number 22, Joe Fluker.
Wow.
He is really becoming a big hitter, and that's the 205-pound kid he just lifted off the ground.
Wow.
And you can't say kid if you're 205, 6'205", a young man. Some of the other guys, a guy you pointed out last week is really playing well, Diego Carvajal.
Yes, sir.
He's in there right now. We got Styles Moore, got number 77,
Chris Torres.
Chris Torres. Also have
Healy.
Healy's probably kind of being the leader there right now, coming back, letting him play a little more. Joseph Healy, and you said he had a foot injury?
He did. He broke his foot early in the season, and it has really been working hard to come back and get his chance to get on this sideline and get off the sideline and back onto the field.
Connor Kirshen is over there at one corner, and got Cam Blakely here at the other corner. And
that's
free
an
safety,
exceptionally tall
looks
corner.
like Taylor Shannon.
Looks like they're actually prepping for a punt return.
To receive the punt. Let's see if Taylor catches it. No, it's off to the sideline. Shanked it.
Okay, don't worry about it. Greg, just zoom out there. Should be something else, Matthew, just for a second. There we go. Perfect. That's good. We're on you, Matthew. We're going to stay with you, Matthew. Greg, just reset your shot. Zoom in on me, Greg, please.
Well, it's hard to believe there's still 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. Again, the Irish lead, dominating this one 58-0 over the Chiefs of Cherokee. Jack Somperak in at quarterback. Nice run by Connor Kirshen. Got
looks like
Josh Sanger in.
Uh-oh.
Jack hands it off to Taylor Shannon. Taylor got a little opening there. Still on his feet. Taylor cuts it back. Spin move. Nice run by Taylor Shannon.
That was really impressive. That was an unbelievable run coming from a freshman.
Yeah, that's probably his best run of the year. Look at this. Taylor's showing a lot of skills in this one. Nice spin move. Broke about 4 or 5 tackles on that one.
It looks to me like Cade Mays actually brought out a set of crutches for Jake Mahoney there on the sideline.
That's not good.
That is definitely not a good sign.
Taylor Shannon again. Or no, that's Adam Jones, I believe. Yep. Adam Jones on that carry. Little jet sweep, end around there. Looks like we're going to gain a yard there and be 2nd and 9 on the 12-yard line.
Ooh.
Jack slipped right there. That didn't look good. Hope he's okay.
I feel like he definitely could have turned that into something, but just lost his footing there.
Makes the cut. Oh.
Yeah, slips right off of that inside foot.
Going to lose about 4 on that one and bring up a third and 14. Jonathan LeBlanc in there. Jack still up, fighting. Jack's still up.
Oh, okay. Actually just got suplexed at the end of that play. So they stopped.
Jack
they called an
off.
end of forward progress there.
And that's actually picked up Margolis.
Margolis very upset at the end of that play. Actually ended up standing over.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that. He could get injured throwing him back on his head like that.
That's a play where you kind of get nervous when a player does something like that, especially to such a young player on your team. The older, more experienced guys they'll get fired up about protecting those younger guys on the team, and they definitely don't like seeing some varsity player on an opposing team.
You're right, Grady.
Almost with just a straight up dirty tackle.
Right. A WWF move. Let's call it what it is. Especially with the game out of hand like this, it's good to see the officials get in there and get it under control. You don't want to start seeing little chippy plays like that. We've got a timeout here with 46 seconds left in the first half. Again, the Irish lead 58-0.
On that last play with that tackle, you may have wondered how Margolis even ended up with the football, and it looked to me like Somperak may have handed it to him on his way down in an attempt to just keep the ball moving forward and get that score right before the half.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a play the coaches want to see, but I know Jack's scraping and clawing and fighting, and he's a pretty heads-up kid, so I don't think he's going to do something if he thinks it's dangerous. I'm a little confused right here with a unnecessary roughness penalty, personal foul. It seems like it should be first down, and it says it's fourth down.
I agree with you on that. It doesn't make much sense to me either.
Shannon behind Somperak. Jack hands it off to Shannon, and he's going to get in for the touchdown.
Doesn't make much of a difference whether it's fourth down or first down when you put it in the end zone.
Mm-hmm. And you try to body slam one of their players, they're going to try to score again.
They're not going to let you get away with that without, not even with a as clean as it gets. They said, if you're going to body slam my player, I'm going to put the ball right down your throat and score a touchdown.
Also in on that play for the Irish, number 12, Daniel Hamling. But a nice run by the freshman. Again, doesn't carry himself like a freshman, does he, Grady? Taylor Shannon
not at all.
Is a tough ball player. Well, 65-0 here with 42.8 seconds to go here in the first half. Grady, we'll go on halftime and look on Coach T and get a score update, get some score updates to start the second half.
All right.
See if looks like Fulton will be the team the Irish will be playing. I'm assuming it will.
Again, Nick, we're going to try to get you at halftime as they're moving. Again, gentlemen, we'll try to get the coach and Andy at halftime as they're running off the field, hopefully.
We've got Andy Mountain will be, if you'll stick with us here at the end of the half, Andy Mountain is going to be getting a halftime interview.
Probably a very
attempt to get one.
Probably a very
Matthews.
quick.
Yeah.
A quick, if he can get one, very quick interview with Coach Matthews.
As he's getting them, do you want to read off some scores of interest? Fulton?
Let's see. Well, Webb School of Knoxville is up 35-7 against Ezell Harding. Fulton is up 38-0 against Sullivan East in the second quarter.
Alcoa, looks like.
Oh yeah, Alcoa's up 42-0 at halftime against Unicoi County.
Farragut in a tough one with McMinn County. Farragut down
Definitely.
20-21 against McMinn County at the half.
Very, very close game there. Maryville up 56-7 against Coffee County in the second quarter.
Campbell County and Ooltewah is a close one.
With Ooltewah up 17-14 at halftime. Cloudland down 18-28 against Harriman.
Nice hard tackle. You're going to see a replay here. Styles Moore, again, the freshman defensive lineman. Had some really good. Austin Rowan, that graduated last year, is one of them. They really think Styles Moore has a chance to be one of the best the school's ever had. Just a really, really talented young defensive lineman. Okay, again, Irish Nation, we'll have a replay here, and if you'll hang with us, Andy is going to be attempting to corral Coach Matthews here in just a second for a halftime interview as the Irish go into the locker room. Again, dominating first half for the Irish, 65-0 over the Cherokee Chiefs. And again, we should be breaking to an interview.
Coach Anderson.
Down to you, Andy.
Hurry up, John.
I'm here with Coach Matthews. Coach, our Irish team has been dominant. The score now 65-0 against the Chiefs today. Kind of talk about the offense and how you guys have done.
Thought we've done a great job. I was a little worried about Russ going into this game. And this is a 6-4 football team we're playing. And I feel like our guys, we had a great week of practice and really answered the bell tonight. So we're proud of the way we're playing, and now we'll get a chance to get some young guys in there and get ready for next week.
It seems like one of the biggest improvements have been that hasn't been a lot of penalties for you guys today. Are you happy with that?
We've been working extremely hard on that. I asked the coaching staff in a staff meeting, I said, what's the one thing that we feel like we need to improve that it could possibly get us beat if we don't really put our thumb on it, and all of them. We thought penalties, and so we've made it a focus, and I'm proud of the way the guys have responded.
Coach, thank you, and good luck for the rest of the half.
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate it. Junior.
Okay, well, that takes us into halftime. Again, dominating fashion. We'll hope you join us for the second half. We'll have Jason Surlis, Knoxville Catholic Athletic Director, up in the booth for the second half. Until then, on the Irish Streaming Network, sponsored by Smith Build Homes, we will see you in about 10 minutes. Thank you.
The Irish Streaming Network and your Fighting Irish football team would like to thank this season's gold level sponsors.
Nuke's Eatery on Cedar Bluff. Smoky Mountain Title Incorporated along Joy Street in Sevierville. Nick and Jay's Cafe on Lovell Road. Come eat with the Nator family. Cover all of Eastern Tennessee. Health-based cleaning system and janitorial service. Haney Dentistry, restoring smiles since 1998. Torres Law Firm, PLLC, specializing in personal injury and immigration cases. And Clancy's Tavern and Whiskey House on Gay Street, your local Irish pub.
There's more second half action coming your way next, right here on the Irish Streaming Network presented by Smith-Built Homes.
Local 8 Sports is giving you an all-access pass to the most complete coverage of high school football in East Tennessee.
It's called Varsity All Access.
Friday nights aren't just for highlights anymore. We're going to mic up area coaches to give you an unrivaled look behind the scenes.
And join us online and on Twitter
for real-time updates from your varsity insiders.
Plus, you get live high-definition football on Rivalry Thursday. Not to mention, it's the only place to see the playoffs and each and every state championship game.
It's Varsity All Access, driven by your Greater Knoxville Honda dealers.
Welcome home, where the arms are open wide. Welcome home, the place you carried inside. A long day's past, now you're home at last, with the ones you love. Welcome home, welcome home.
Good evening. You're watching Local 8 News. I'm Amanda Hara.
And I'm Ted Hall. Welcome home. Top story.
Every morning, we tell you Local 8 News this morning has your news up to the minute you wake up.
And that's not just a clever catchphrase. It's certainly a developing situation out here.
It's a promise.
We are tracking thunderstorms this morning that are changing as we go through the later morning hours.
It's our commitment.
They've got traffic on I-40 eastbound completely blocked.
No matter what time you tune in, we make sure you get the news, weather, and traffic updates you need.
Just as soon as you need them. Local 8 News this morning.
Up to the minute you wake up.
Delivering only the most breaking news. Going boldly where no student has gone before. Inspiring greatness. Researching their stories. Going anywhere to find the truth. The Blarney Stone Press, the newspaper of the Fighting Irish.
I get up around 2 a.m., be at work by 3:30 for Local 8 News this morning. When I get off work after the noon newscast, then it's to my second full-time job, which is running around chasing a 2-year-old and dogs and the typical world that comes with being a mom. As a mom, obviously, I'm picking out my son's clothes. I'm deciding what we're gonna do. Are we gonna go to the park that day? Are we gonna have to stay inside? So I understand that a lot of families are trying to plan out their day. That's why I think it's really important that they have what they need, that I give them what they need every single morning.
Welcome to Blaine Stadium and Holland Field, Irish fans. I'm Minnesota Viking and proud Catholic graduate Harrison Smith. We'd like to take a moment to thank the following major sponsors of this year's Irish football team.
The Olive Garden Italian Kitchen, Friedman's Appliances and Kitchen Gallery, Casey's Corner Grill, Dine Local, Eat Local, Smith Built Homes, Knoxville's #1 builder of affordable homes, Jimmy John's Gourmet Sandwiches on Cedar Bluff, Pickering's Orthodontics, offering quality orthodontic care to children and adults, La Rosa's Family Pizzeria since 1954, D&B Hot Dogs and Ice Cream, where every day is the 4th of July, East Tennessee Dental Associates, a 2015 Patient's Choice winner.
J. Patrick Stapleton, PC, Real Estate, Contract, and Business Litigation. LeBlanc Financial Alliance, your future is our expertise. Which Superior Sandwiches on Cedar Bluff and in Oak Ridge. H3 Sports, providing innovative, complete, and unmatched support for athletes. Your Tennessee Orthopedic Clinics, the power of results.
Wrestler Supply on Outlet Drive, gear up for the goal.
The KCHS Irish Boys Soccer Team, the Tennessee National Guard. Stanley Steamer, for a cleaner, healthier home and business. And Bertelkamp Automation, your local industrial automation specialists.
And to all Irish fans, alumni, and our sponsors, thanks for making Knoxville Catholic Athletics and your Catholic high school one of the best in East Tennessee. As always, go Irish.
Delivering only the most breaking news. Going boldly where no student has gone before. Inspiring greatness. Researching their stories. Going anywhere to find the truth. The Blarney Stone Press, the newspaper of the Fighting Irish.
You're invited to the Local 8 News morning meeting. Log on to Facebook or send us an email so we can cover the stories that matter most to you. Be a part of My Story on Local 8 News. More local.
Local 8 News does news the way I think it should be done. And this is a team you can trust. This is the fastest growing news organization in East Tennessee. People work 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, committed to telling the stories of East Tennessee, to make East Tennessee a better place to live. That's what we're all about. We work, we share, we overcome challenges as part of this community. That's something we don't take for granted, and we never will.
Yeah.
Local 8 Sports is giving you an all-access pass to the most complete coverage of high school football in East Tennessee.
It's called Varsity All Access.
Friday nights aren't just for highlights anymore. We're going to mic up area coaches to give you an unrivaled look behind the scenes.
And join us online and on Twitter
for real-time updates from your varsity insider.
Plus, you get live high-definition football on Rivalry Thursday. Not to mention, it's the only place to see the playoffs and each and every state championship game.
It's Varsity All Access, driven by your Greater Knoxville Honda dealers.
Welcome home, where the arms are open wide. Welcome home, the place you carried inside. Long days past, now you're home at last, with the ones you love. Welcome home, welcome home.
Good evening. You're watching Local 8 News. I'm Amanda Hara.
And I'm Ted Hall. Welcome home. Top story.
You're never more than 10 minutes away from the weather you need to plan your day. Weather on the 8s, only on Local 8 News this morning. Up to the minute you wake up.
Local 8 Sports is giving you an all-access pass to the most complete coverage of high school football in East Tennessee.
It's called Varsity All Access.
Friday nights aren't just for highlights anymore. We're going to mic up area coaches to give you an unrivaled look behind the scenes.
And join us online and on Twitter
for real-time updates from your varsity insider.
Plus, you get live high-definition football on Rivalry Thursday. Not to mention, it's the only place to see the playoffs and each and every state championship game.
It's Varsity All Access, driven by your Greater Knoxville Honda dealers.
Welcome back to the Irish Streaming Network. again, sponsored by Smith-Built Homes. Again, if you are just joining us, 65-0 in the first half. We've got some stats, as you can see on the screen. Knoxville Catholic just dominated the first half offensively with 13 first downs. You saw a difference in the attack. If you would have told anybody that knows Catholic football, that they would score 65 points and not have a passing touchdown, they would say you're absolutely crazy. They really focused on a running attack tonight. 12 rushes, 216 yards, a lot from Jeffrey Wood. Passing, just 5 of 7 for 90 yards. Also had about a 70-yard pick six mixed in there, and really, really asserted a dominant rushing attack. Coach Matthews had felt going into this game that a lot of their offensive scores in the last 4 games had been quick passes to Amari Rogers or Chase Kirshen, and he really wanted his team to work and also make sure the running game was established going into the playoffs. We will have a kickoff here that you'll see to start the second half. We will be joined here in just a moment by Knoxville Catholic Athletic Director Jason Surlis. Catholic has a short kick. Nice run. Run back by number 7, Connor Smith. He's a 5'11" freshman listed as an athlete, and you saw some athletic ability right there. You'll see a lot of different faces here in this second half of the Irish. Some veterans mixed along with some JV and freshman players. First play for the Cherokees. Power run up the middle. Taken down by 61, Joseph Healy. And 56, Diego Carvajal. Second and 7 for the Cherokees. Another run by let's see how we pronounce that. Japeth Kurtzinger, the hard-running 6', 205" sophomore. Not much doing there. Again, looks like might have gotten a yard. Going to bring up a long 3rd and 6. Nice pass. Good tackle by Adam Jones right there. The most active receiver tonight for the Chiefs has been Ian Hughes. Nice catch by Ian. That's going to bring up about a 4th and 1. Fourth and 1 here for the Chiefs. Let's see what they run up the middle. Ooh, and it looks like he's going to be stopped. We're now joined up here by President of Knoxville Catholic High School, Dickie Somperak. Having a good game tonight out there, President Somperak?
Yeah, at this point, you just kind of hope for both teams. Nobody gets hurt, and we got the mercy rule clock working, so hopefully we can end it soon.
Would you have ever thought in a million years if somebody told you Catholic would score 65 points in the first half that not one touchdown would be through the air?
Wow, not with this team and the people that we've got. But I didn't realize that until you just said that we didn't have one touchdown through the air. But
talking to Steve this week, Coach Matthews, and some other coaches, they felt like one of the only things that could potentially be the kryptonite for them, that could be a real curveball, just besides some of the tough teams that they'll face, is the weather. And if they played in a monsoon or really hard driving rain on a natural field. Nice seam route pass right there. Looks like Taylor Shannon took him down, and that was number 32. Doesn't look like he's on the roster. I'm sorry,
92.
92. That's why he's not on the roster. Number 92, Lucas Miskus, the 245-pound, 6-foot senior tight end. Nice little play there for the Chiefs.
Yeah, that was a good play. He got behind the DB right there, and quarterback made a nice throw. They've been pounding the rock, and there's a good run right there for about 9 yards.
Number 33, Japheth Kurtzinger. He's listed at 6 foot, 205 pounds. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's solid. He's solid. That's a good run right there. So they've got something working inside the 10, and it looks like they trying to put some points on the board right here.
We talked about this several times, but you've got a situation where a lot of your JV and freshman kids are in, but they're still playing against the other team's varsity. And while at times might be outmatched, it's a good experience for them.
It is, and it's exciting for these kids to get in for a playoff game and get some time. So I know they're excited to be out there, and I know they're doing everything they can to keep them out of the end zone right here because they certainly don't want to see them score at this point. But it's a big good experience for them for sure.
Looks like might be a touchdown here. Or
yeah, let's see where they mark it. No, they're going to mark them just short, it looks like.
About a half-yard line. Wow. They got to give him credit. The referee, it looked like he was looking where the ball was.
Exactly.
His feet were clearly in the end zone, but
the
ball was over the line. You know, in your time here, you've had some good football teams. Obviously, you won state. Was it 2008? And have you ever seen a team clicking in all cylinders like this team is?
No, I really haven't. And I think, when you look back to Steve Matthews' first year, this is his 4th year as our head coach. This senior class that we've got, who was that on the touchdown?
That was a touchdown run by Jacob Linkus.
Okay.
Nice run there.
Yeah.
Okay. We just found out there might have been technical difficulties. The extra point was no good. So 65-6. We had a brief technical difficulty right there. But going back again, in the time you've been here, the 2008 team was a really good team and obviously a different animal, more of a wing team, running team.
Mm-hmm.
And this team, for to be a passing-dominated team and looking at games where 9 out of 10 games you score on the first possession, half those games you score on the first play, almost 15 plays where you're scoring drives are less than a minute. It's hard to imagine a high school offense, a passing-dominated offense, that is just so efficient and so productive night in, night out against mostly state-ranked teams.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And I think the thing that makes it tough for teams that we play, we've got 2 receivers and Amari and Chase who were just nominated this week for Mr. Football as semifinalists, and I think you could have thrown Chase Cunningham in there. When you look at his stats, he certainly could have been a finalist or a semifinalist for Mr. Football too. So, and then we've got a good line and we can run the ball too. So. I think this is the year that Steve Matthews' offense is really, really clicking, and these guys have been in the system for a while, and it's just.
Was that Adam Margolis there? Is that number 17?
Yep, that's Margolis.
He's a good-looking sophomore.
Yeah, he really is. He had a fumble that he picked up last week against Union County that he ran back for a touchdown, about a 40-yard touchdown last week. So that was an exciting play for him, and so yeah, he's making his presence known.
We've talked about what with the detail. Recently we didn't want to say the name of the school in case they didn't want it out there, but a state champion program. out of this area. Had coaches come and ask if they could witness, and there's a run here by, is that Margolis?
Mm-hmm, that's Margolis.
Nice run. Pickup of about 10, very close to a first down. But wanted to see a Catholic practice, and afterwards we're just highly impressed at the efficiency and the productivity of the practice. And after being around the program myself for a couple of years, handoff from Somprack to Hemling there. Really wanted to talk more to Steve Matthews about who influenced him the most in his travels in football and coaching. And when you talk about coaches that he mentions, from David Cutcliffe, who obviously has coached some of the best quarterbacks of all time, including could be the best quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, and then he goes on to Memphis and is coached by Finkner, I believe is his name, that coaches Ben Roethlisberger right now. Almost the entire staff at Memphis is with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here's Adam Jones on an end around. Field a little bit slippery right now. But then you go on to his time with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he not only played with Joe Montana, but was coached by Marty Schottenheimer, and I believe Mike McCarthy was the offensive coordinator, and
played with Tom Coughlin with the
Jaguars, and to have that type of pedigree in a 6 or 7 NFL career is mentoring is really amazing.
Yeah, and I think it shows. I mean, he knows what he wants to do, and there aren't.
Jack Somprack with the keeper here. He's nice move right there by Jack. Again, fakes the handoff.
A nice pickup there.
About 20, 25-yard gain there by Somprack. Yeah, we joked about that earlier on the pronunciation.
Yeah.
President Somprack hearing the Sompayrak pronunciation on the Cherokee broadcast. Well, you got a good thing going here. I tell you, the academics comes first, and we've bragged a lot about the program, the overall program you guys have here. And the stat that amazes me the most is your ACT stats from last year's senior class, where over 25%. Is this Shannon on the carry?
Mm-hmm. Taylor Shannon, freshman.
Really runs hard for a freshman.
Yep.
But the fact that over 25% of last year's senior class had over a 30 on the ACT, that is amazing.
Yeah, it's a credit, and we're really fortunate to have an outstanding faculty that does a great job with our students, and not only of just teaching them their subject matter, but also realizing that these kids are involved. We want kids to have good balance and be involved in fine arts and sports and whatever their interests are. And so our teachers have done a great job of creating an environment where we feel like we've got really good balance.
Shannon with a nice opening right there and a nice move, little jab step. Looks like it's going to be enough for the first down.
Looks like just inside the 10, so it'll be first and goal from the 10, looks like.
Hi, my name is Connor Witzo. Just joined. Sorry, I was a little late. And I just had to quote on the fact that he got in between, or he was in front of 2 guys, and automatically, it is amazing to me. It just startled me. He just put on the brakes right around the 10-yard line and bolted to the left. Like, it was almost at a corner angle, and I think that gave them the little extra yards.
Here's Shannon again, up the middle. Nice run for a smaller back, again, just a freshman. He is able to shake off tacklers. At one run earlier, he broke about 5 tackles. Well, I guess it's not too early to look ahead to next week's matchup with Fulton. They were up 38-0 at the half. The ultimately a lot of in an early round matchup for a team. There's definitely matchups first round where teams are kind of doing things and kind of gearing their game plan toward getting ready for that next game.
Right.
One thing we talked about is looking at Amari Rogers, playing more defense potentially against Fulton at a corner, and with Fulton scoring like they are, I definitely see it being a really, really exciting test for this Catholic defense, because they really kind of pulled some kids, I think, a little earlier than maybe people realize in that game. And at the same time, not to take anything away from Fulton, they've got 5 or 6 kids that can score on any play.
Absolutely.
But I think as the season has evolved, it's been really impressive how the defense has improved. That kick was no good. The Irish go up 71 on the Shannon score, go up 71-6. Again, with the running clock, we have just 5:31 to go here in the third. But the defense, I think, is going to, I think, play a real key role in that matchup.
You look to the regular season matchup we had with Fulton, and our defense had a hard time stopping Fulton in the second half. And Fulton clearly found something in their game plan that seemed to click for them, and obviously putting the ball into Zach Dobson's hands were a big part of that. We have heard that Chetan Mobley looks like he might be out for the season with a knee injury, and you hate to hear that. Kid's just a great football player and plays both sides of the ball, is a good leader. And
yeah, seems like an emotional leader.
He is. Fighter. And he just makes plays, and he's our kids know him well. And this will be the 4th time we've played Fulton in the last really 12 or 14 months, and so both teams know each other well. These kids have grown up playing against each other, so I'll be honest. I think we would rather not play Fulton second round.
Right.
I mean, it's just they're a scary team, and they can score at any point, and it'll be a really good test.
Nice run back here.
He broke a tackle.
This is
reversing field here, number 11.
Nice athlete. Nice run back by number 11, Ian Hughes, senior wide receiver. We talked about him. He's a kid that wants the ball in his hands. He's had about 5 catches tonight. He's returned about 4 kickoffs, and he's a kid that you can tell is a real competitor. Not just a good athlete, but a kid that wants the ball.
Yeah, it looked like we had him bottled up over there, and he broke a couple tackles and made a nice run, and they've got good field position to start this drive.
Oh, yeah. Cody Ball, the head coach of Cherokee, comes from Greenville High School program, played there, was a star player there, was coach there for about 16 years, and he obviously, besides teams like Catholic, they're probably Greenville, other than your Alcoas and your Maryvilles, Greenville's right there in the conversation of being one of the top 5 programs in the state in all classifications over the last decade, and they don't lose very much. He doesn't come to Cherokee to do anything other than try to build a state champion program. Interesting thing in talking to him before the game, he said it's a different culture, and all he knows is kind of the Greenville way, and you can see the signature on the offense that's very similar to Greenville, even though they're kind of depleted with some injuries right now. But he said one of the toughest challenges he's had is his 2 feeder schools, his middle schools, are about a half a mile, literally 1-minute drive from each other, and they absolutely hate each other. He said it's not just a rivalry, they hate each other. And he said when they come in as freshmen, there's kids that make it and there's kids that don't, and just there's battles and kids quit. Right. And so right now he's in the process of trying to co-op those programs.
Right. I can see where that could be a challenge.
Yep. And so with that, that'll probably be a key piece for his foundation over there.
Well, he's got some good young players, and like you said, they've been bitten by the injury bug right now. And
I'll tell you what, I like that fullback right there, number 33. Japheth Kurtzinger, 6', 205, is just a sophomore. He is a hard runner. Young quarterback that started the year was a freshman, Colin Trent. Apparently a big family up in the Rogersville area. Played about 7 games and was on track to break records for Cherokee, and he got hurt about the 7th or 8th game. So that's a kid they can really build around.
Sure.
Got an interesting question for you. Has there been any misting or rain tonight?
No.
We haven't seen any, but we've seen several kids slip tonight. It seemed the turf. I don't know if there's a dew.
I think just with the humidity. I think there's some dew that is.
Ball's on the ground. Cherokee recovers.
The temperature is a little cooler tonight than it's been in a while. So I think there's I just think we've got some dew on the grass. You can see a little bit of a shine on it right now. So I think there's just some moisture from the dew setting in.
Can we get a science teacher up here? little weather report. Explain us.
Former chemistry teacher.
Well, I saw some clouds rolling in over in about the first half, and they were just clearly over the stadium, and I just thought, oh boy.
We dodged a bullet, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. You know, I guess we don't see this uniform a lot, just the solid green with the gold helmets. That's a sharp-looking uniform.
Yeah, this is the second time they've worn that uniform combination, I believe, this year, and the kids like it, and I think it looks sharp.
We've talked a lot about, especially this year, about this is the first class that this coaching staff, Coach Matthews and his staff, has had for 4 years. And they really just feel like the juniors and seniors, and obviously sophomores and freshmen, the juniors and seniors have been groomed to be leaders with basically the same coaches, and the occasional coach added here or there. But in talking to Coach Matthews, he's been so relieved that there's just several parts of his program that he doesn't have to manage any, the team meals, the kids getting ready before games. He said one game he felt like they were getting a little bit loud and silly, and he felt himself about to go to the locker room, and he walks by and he hears Chase Kirshen going, guys, sit down, be quiet, it's time to get focused.
Right.
And he's like, that's what I'm talking about,
right.
And those are things he had to manage his first 3 years, that with this group, you hear Butch Jones talk about it, but the best teams are player-led teams.
Right.
And
right.
As a principal, same thing. If you've got leaders all around your campus, it makes your job a lot easier. But having a son in the program, I guess it's interesting seeing that evolve.
Right. And it certainly evolved in the way Coach Matthews coaches and his high expectations. And, when we have scouts on our campus and when they come out and watch practice, one of the things you always hear them say is there aren't many schools that practice like Catholic does. And I think it's the discipline that he's instilled in them. And, got an errant snap right there.
And
that's Major Holland.
Is that
back
Major
there.
Holland right there? Looked like
he wasn't expecting
they weren't on the same
snap.
page. Yeah, the center and quarterback weren't on the same page. It always happens when we talk about the discipline and organization of the program. Something bad happens when the JV kids are out there. But talking about that, you rarely see mistakes as the younger kids come in. I mean, they're coached up just like the starters are, and know what they're doing when they go out there.
Yeah. I think you see that with the JV too a lot. They execute very well, and it's because those kids get lots of reps in practice, and I think it's a good recipe for building a program, getting your younger kids reps, and Coach Matthews does a great job along with his staff.
There's looks like he wanted to return that.
It's down to the
Connor
25.
Carson down there. Got 7 minutes to go and change here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I have to comment that although the touchdown production hasn't been as big in this half as it was in the last, you got to give it credit to the young guys. They're really pushing back the Cherokee, and you could tell because, the score hasn't changed since that last touchdown. So, of course, they definitely got in a few reps, and, the young guys kept them back.
Yep, they're doing a good job.
It's tough when you get your JV kids in, the ball's on the ground. It looks like Adam Jones. Oh, just about got it.
Yep.
Nice recovery there by number 33. Ben Lovely.
Oh, yeah, Lovely.
Freshman defensive back. Adam Jones got pushed from behind, but he just about scooped that up and took it to the house, didn't he?
Yep.
You normally want your players just jumping on that ball, but up 65, I think they'll let him take a swipe at it. Hamling there. Oh, nice hard tackle there by number 63 for the Chiefs, Franklin Martin. You know, you look at this team, and I just can't help but think of J.T. Brooks, the quarterback. Saw a video of him this week coming back after he'd been in Atlanta after his spring injury where he was paralyzed from the waist down. And just seeing the great attitude the kid had and the way the kids respond to him. And when you see the smiles on the kids' faces and talking to kids before the game, just a few Cherokee kids, they said it's just so inspirational. He's been to the last 4 games and just doesn't have any pouting about him. And the coaches have said he's just so inspiring. These kids aren't allowed to have a bad day with what he's been dealt, and he always looks at the glass half full. It really makes you appreciate what you have on a daily basis and just the health, and it also sheds light that this is a very dangerous game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a tragic story, and I've not met him, but he seems like a great kid, and sometimes you just have to trust that God has a plan for you, but he seems to have responded great, and he's certainly in our prayers, and we prayed for him this week at school, and you just hope that.
Nice hard run there by Hamling.
Yep.
They say he was a heck of a quarterback and a great baseball pitcher. Obviously what his athletic career would have been is secondary, just his overall health. But it's great seeing so many of the Fight for 5 shirts. That wasn't a 1-week thing, or or praying for you for a couple months. You can see that that's a very tight-knit, loyal community in Rogersville. It's really a strong family that takes care of their own. And
yeah, that's sometimes stuff like that happens. It draws your community closer together, and certainly Rogersville has been brought together by this, and it's brought them closer together. And our thoughts and prayers just go out to JT and his family.
Yeah,
nice pass here. Big hit by Taylor Shannon. But again, number 11.
He seems to find the opening.
Ian Hughes is a nice-looking athlete. Really got good hands. That was a nice pass there by Evan Andrews. And 5'11" sophomore getting a chance to.
Yeah, I just want to mention, as we were talking about the one player from Cherokee, said, I'm pretty sure you guys said he was paralyzed from the waist down?
From the chest down.
Oh,
he can move his arms, his upper extremity, but they say it's kind of from the chest area down.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of pretty bad things. I'd rather not mention right now. Don't want to bring anybody down. But, that I know what that feels like. Not necessarily that situation, but something in that magnitude. And it definitely, that situation.
Are scary. Yeah, injuries are scary.
Nice
run right there. Nice tackle by Adam Jones.
Looks like he got him at the shins.
Yeah, the big hard runner like that, you don't want to see him tackling high, do you, Coach?
No. No, I think Adam Jones knew what he was doing there, and he made the tackle and stayed in the game.
Dakota Leach there on the reception. Nice tackle by Connor Kirshen. Les Greer mixing it up. Had Adam Jones blitzing on that play right there. Little corner blitz.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have had a tremendous fall. You've got a strong program across the board, academically, the arts, the band, everything's just really going well here. But this has been here's a nice run by the quarterback.
Yep.
Andrews. Nice tackle by Lovely there.
Uh-oh.
But you guys athletically have had a tremendous fall.
Yeah, volleyball had a great fall and won their first state championship in the history of our school, which was exciting. And our boys and girls cross country teams tomorrow will be running in Murfreesboro, and both boys and girls are in the hunt for a state championship there. So we want to wish them luck. And so yeah, it's been exciting. It's been a neat fall and been exciting for our student body too. And
it always helps the school spirit when things are going well athletically in the fall. Kind of helps get the year started off
absolutely,
right.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that we're basically 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, so it makes time fly, and it's been exciting.
Well, Mr. Soprak, we appreciate you being up here tonight. Hopefully we can get you for at least a quarter for the
Absolutely.
full game. And
I'd love to.
Love to have you up here in the booth for that. Until then, have a great week. Appreciate Irish Nation. I tell you what, let's take 1 minute for any of the viewers out there that are still with us. If you want to take just a second to talk about, and obviously they did it to be on the broadcast tonight, but just about the program with the merger with NFHS and the live streaming and moving forward, how trying to make it a win-win program where you can still broadcast the playoffs but also
Absolutely.
be able to watch the regular season games.
Yeah, to make a long story short, with the playoffs and the TSSAA, if we were not using the NFHS network, then basically it would cost us $750 a game for each round of the playoffs. And so
same thing in any other sport.
And
too,
any
right?
other sport, basketball.
Baseball.
So we just decided, that our viewership has grown so much through the Irish streaming network that we felt like, we wanted to keep it going, but also do it in a way that's, not cost prohibitive for us. So we joined, and we're excited about it. We feel like it's going to be a good partnership, and it obviously changes the way folks have to log in and actually sign up for a membership, but we want to keep those costs as minimal as possible, and
I can put it in perspective real quick. As we were talking, I was talking to my wife earlier, Kathy, and talked about Connor's signing off. So thank you, Connor. A game like this, $8 a head, kid, adult, they're all the same price. I said, what is your thought on somebody paying, say the $30 package for a 3-month deal? Say their kid only plays football and they're thinking, 3 months, or their child only plays basketball and they're thinking the 3-month package. She said, for instance, for this playoff game, whether it's basketball or football, a family of 4, you're spending $32
right
for one admittance to a game.
Exactly.
Before you buy a drink or a popcorn or a hot dog. And for $30, you've got not one but your whole family and involved in seeing however many games they have. And I guess also that involves seeing any other teams that either they're interested in and replays of the game. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay. So with that, we will sign off here again. Want to give thanks to Smith Build Homes for sponsoring the whole entire program and the broadcast. Again, for the Irish Streaming Network, we will see you next week where the Catholic take on State Power Fulton in defending their state title run here in 2016. And we hope to see you next week. Go Irish.